In what way did you lose the genetic lottery? My family is a mix of Italian, Irish, and English ancestry. I've got pasty white skin, blonde hair, blue eyes, black facial hair that never grows beyond the length of that first pube you notice when you're going through puberty, an uncontrollable overgrowth of actual pubes. I sweat a fuckton, and if you put me into a hydraulic press you could probably just squeeze me into olive oil. I'm such a greasy guinea. Cyclical vomiting syndrome. Get nauseous and start throwing up but my body can't stop it on its own. Yeah, imagine throwing up for 18 hours in 15 minutes increments. Small penis with big balls. I wish it was the other way around. Unamused face. I don't see how rephrasing it as big balls with a small penis would help, but more power to you. Late so will probably be buried. I'm 21 and have had old lady titties since puberty. They've been my biggest source of shame lol. I have ridiculously soft nails. People always ask me if I don't have nails when I'm struggling to open something, but even if I would let my nails grow out they would just literally bend when I would try to actually use them. ADHD. It's killing my mental well-being. My erection curved 90 degrees down from about 2/3 out. I'm still curious how it would have worked. I got surgery where they straightened it out by removing a small wedge and stitching it back together. It has served me well for 15 years since. Gender machine broke. Too many hairs on the body and they grow so fast. My small ass hands. I'm a 6 foot, 190 pounds dude but have the hands of a 15-year-old girl. I have a big head. Cystic fibrosis. 16% of us make it past 40. I'm almost 33. Autism severe enough to require special consideration, and mild enough that people conclude I don't actually need it. IBS, asthma, ADHD, and a genetic disorder called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. It messes with collagen production, so I am prone to dislocate most joints and sprain most tendons, muscles. It also affects skin, so I get lots of bruising and little cuts on my skin. I'm so tired of being in pain every day. My father is a very handsome man. Classical rugged features. My mother has this exotic vaguely androgynous face, but paired with a very feminine petite body. My sister and I, both girls, look like a blend of both of our parents, but with my broad shoulders and her 6'2" height, we are both often mistaken for MTF. I try to overcompensate with excessively girly clothes, but I have to be very careful with makeup because if anything it makes me look more masculine. I also kind of hate that through the years another way I was trying to compensate for my masculine features was by speaking in a very high-pitched voice, which I think now sounds more and more ridiculous as I age. You know the gender swap Snapchat filter. When I put myself through the male filter, it changed how my eyes were set and gave me a stubble and obviously gave me short hair. When I used the female filter, it changed pretty much all of my features: jawline, chin, nose, lips, eyebrows, the texture of my already long hair. It bummed me out, man. I'm celiac, and Italian. Chronic migraine. Long labia LMAO. I have constant digestive problems and stomach pains that get worse when I'm stressed. My sight is so bad that without glasses I can't even recognize someone's face 6 feet in front of me. I have ingrown nails all the time. I have a history of depressive and anxious disorders in my family, and it tends to show on me, lately. Without modern medicine and the ability to do an emergency C-section, I would have died in childbirth. I'm very short, 5'2", and my baby was huge, 9 pounds 13 ounces, 22.5 long, and couldn't fit down into my pelvis. He was so big and my uterus so small that he was also breech feet first in position because there wasn't enough space for him to turn. Feel like your username is weirdly appropriate to that situation. I am a lady who is built like a gorilla, long arms and short stocky legs. The upside is that I can win a slap flight from a good distance and have excellent balance on boats. You were born to be a pirate. My parents may as well be related with all of the issues I have. Crohn's disease. common variable immunodeficiency, Asperger's, depression and anxiety, and I was born with my urethral tubes too low, resulting in chronic kidney and bladder issues. The surgery to correct it has made me infertile. I still have a pretty kick-ass life, but goddamn, I wish the diagnoses and problems would stop piling up. I don't metabolize alcohol well, at all. My stomach just can't handle it. I can have a couple, barely get tipsy, and be completely fine. However, recent example, had 7 beers over the course of 6-ish hours with friends. Chill night playing board games in a kitchen. Got a buzz, but nothing crazy. Drank some water throughout, ate some food before drinking, and while I was being driven home, felt somewhere between tipsy and lightly drunk and felt really good. I had paced and managed myself pretty well. I got to my buzz level and maintained it throughout the night. Threw up 3 hours after I stopped drinking after I had already fallen asleep. From what I would consider to be a moderate and not excessive amount of beer for a 200-pound man. Could be worse, but it's just weird. I pretty much limit myself to not getting drunk at all these days because of this. 7 beers would make a lot of people feel like shit. Not even from being drunk, necessarily. For me it would just be from putting away super carbonated drinks all day. IBS gangware. On the can. I sweat, like a lot, for no reason at all. The amount of activity it takes me to start excessive sweating is usually in the region of 3 pool billiard strokes. Yay. Balding by 24, but has back hair instead. I was born. Pale skin and red hair. The sun is not my friend. Getting white hair at the age of 9. The white hair did spread, but thankfully most of my hair is still black in the majority. Obviously that just means you're the protagonist of your story and not some one-dimensional side character. Mental illness. There's a lot of it in my family and unfortunately it didn't skip me. However, I have been actively working on my mental health for over a decade, and that's helped break the cycle of intergenerational trauma and abuse. Super coarse hair. Ever haircut is terrible. It's like little cactus needles around my neck and they get stuck in my clothes, so it's even worse. I was born with severe hemophilia B. Despite needing weekly injections, I bruise like a banana and bleed internally from minor repetitive tasks. I'll bleed in my legs and ankles if I walk too much. I'll bleed in my elbows and wrists whilst scanning items as a cashier. I can't do any sort of physical contact sports. Because you guessed it, internal bleeding. I look literally exactly like my dad, except for my height. He is 1.90 meters and I'm just sitting here at a lowly 1.71 meters. Looking like a troll with an oversized tongue and the family's teeth. I am a balding 5'2" adult male, with ADHD and pulmonary valve stenosis which has been repaired. Oh, and I have a big gap between my front teeth too. All in all, I can't complain though. I live a pretty good life and married an amazing woman that is way out of my league. Super susceptible to migraines. Passed on from my mum. That shit hurts. Starting to get a receding hairline at 23. Women in my family are short and cute, but I'm tall and awkward. Developed celiac disease, and breast cancer runs in the family on both sides, so I have that to look out for. Take your pick: psoriasis, autism, or colorblindness. Either I'll die of brain cancer by my 40s or become blind. I'm ugly. You'd be surprised how much simple self-care can go towards making you not ugly, as in, pick clothes that fit and are flattering on you, and in the right colors. You might have to go shopping with someone to help you pick. Get the right haircut for your face shape. Brush your hair. Teeth. Go to the dentist. Get braces if needed. Use facial moisturizer, etc. Exercise. Lose some weight and build some muscle. Then build up your confidence. Know that you look better than you did. You're healthy and clean, and own it. Almost no one is model pretty, but no one is model pretty without trying. With a little weight loss, the right clothes and self-care, even a 2 or 3 can come out as a 6 or 7, especially with an attitude change. Chinless. Thanks, Dad. You can have one of mine. asthma. That shit sucks. Can't smell. Gallstones at age 20. Hashimoto and vitiligo starting at age 13. Bad eyesight. I regrow my hair in like 3 days after I cut it and it sucks. Bald man here crying in the back. Acne. I'm an otherwise attractive person, but acne just sucks. My sister is petite, blonde, beautiful, has never broken a bone, never been truly sick, is smart, and has had 3 gorgeous children. I'm the opposite of all of that. Have you killed 3 children? Close. No kids. My gift to the world. My eyes are pure shit. Wash them, bro. Damn, didn't think of that. In this era of beards, I cannot grow one for the life of me. Instead it is all patchy and thin. I do a fairly good job growing a mustache and I'm getting better at growing a beard. I'm woman though, so I would have preferred genetics not give me this power. I got the body of my dad 6'1", but I am shy like my mom and avoid people, so I'm a target for little in high school who feel like they need to prove themselves. Think of it like I'm the guy from the Green Mile, but my peers don't know I a nice guy because I don't talk very often. This was me too, except I'm 6'6" now and was already 6'2" when I started high school. I was real shy and introverted, also chubby and had a real high-pitched squeaky voice, and permanent RBF, so I was constantly with. I learned a neat trick though. I'd always carry like 4 or 5 full-size textbooks in my backpack, and when I was confronted and had to fight, I'd just meteor hammer the little twat with my bag. Worked. Like every time. People stopped trying to fight me by my sophomore year. I didn't pick up genes from either of my parents, but at least I am a mailman. Picking up every disease gene on both sides of my family. Migraines like my maternal grandma, mood disorders like my paternal cousin. It seems to have skipped a generation. A fight, my grandpa was very moody and nobody in my dad's generation was like that. Then me and my cousin are. Low blood pressure like my maternal grandpa. Stomach acid gets easily imbalanced like my dad. My thyroid doesn't work. If I was born 50 or even 30 years ago, I would be sentenced to a life of not really being able to do anything really productive. 2 bones in each of my feet are connected in ways that they shouldn't be, and they rub against each other and cause me lots of pain. I have surgery in January. I definitely have all the worst physical features of both my parents and none of the good. Mom's bad skin, thin lips, dad's big eyelids, big nose. I'm short, always have been. My physical health is great, rarely sick, build muscles and stamina fast, body can handle a lot of poison without dying, mental health not so much. My DNA is broken at the nibrin protein, essentially where your DNA tells broken DNA repair itself. So I have no good DNA. I am high risk for breast cancer and found out that because of my mutation I cannot have radiation or chemo, it will make any cancer spread. So if I get cancer in an organ that can't be removed, I'm I have not seen anybody who has more pimples in their face than me. Schizophrenia. There was a 1% chance of it happening, and it happened. Well, I have John Lennon's nose. Like, in a box. I'm allergic to dogs, cats, and pretty much any of the lovable fluffy pets. I am also very lonely. Being born a female, I was gifted hirsutism, which means after hitting puberty I sported a mustache, beard and belly hair, which grew in size slowly over the next 10 years till I was shaving or waxing and plucking on a weekly basis, and sometimes more often frequency. Also, I get periods as surprise gifts anytime from 2 months to 6-month intervals because of a family history of fertility issues that somehow still miraculously produce children. Another part of my inheritance is allergy-induced asthma to kittens and cats whom I love but would die if I kept any, but get to see what I am missing all the time since my dad is a veterinarian. Also, spring, summer, and fall are death seasons for me, and yet have to stay away from another thing I like, flowers. I also have anemia because I remain constantly iron deficient due to inherited iron metabolism disorder, which means when I have so-called deathly periods I basically flush out most of the remaining blood I have left. Last but not least, osteoporosis runs in the family, so I have that to look forward to after menopause. But hey, life goes on. I'm pretty close to legally blind, but just in one eye. Because of this it turns out I don't have depth perception, so yeah, I can see fine cause the good eye is perfect vision, but I suck at knowing how far away things are. I have been hit in the face by balls many times, walked into walls, fell up and down stairs, all sorts of BS. I got a rare cancer at 30. Duane syndrome. Can't look to the right. Everyone in my family has baggy dark circles under their eyes, naturally. I inherited it too, made worse by the fact that I have a habit of staying up late. My dad gets horribly seasick. My mom doesn't at all. I'm a professional mariner, yet guess which one I took after? My left knee went out in the 8th grade. Today both knees are bad, and I have ongoing issues with my wrists, ankles, toes and hips. I'm 27. My dad is the same way. In retrospect, being double-jointed as a kid was more of a warning sign than a cool party trick. A fast metabolism may sound fun at first, but when you can't gain weight for the life of you it becomes an issue. When I realized that my nose was growing faster than any other part of my body. When the doctor or nurse begins to ask you about family history I tell them yes. Check all the boxes. If there is a disease or disorder it runs in my family and I have a predisposition for it. My family has a spreadsheet of everyone's illnesses that we all carry on our phones. I just hand it to doctors when they ask. You should try it. It's much easier than trying to verbally explain that yes, my family it really that I, a female, look almost exactly like my dad. This makes me look like a badly done drag queen in family pictures. Addiction. My dad and I get addicted to things so intensely it sucks. Both of us are cross-addicted to drugs and alcohol but sober now. Both smokers. But now we have tried to trade out for harmless addictions which have still caused social isolation and harmed relationships in our familial and occupational lives. Yay.